Hi book lovers, it's Jenny at Julia Baby Jen with my favorite contemporary reads of 2016. So I have a short list of my favorite contemporaries for 2016. Basically, the next few weeks, I will be going through several different genres, my favorite genres, books in each genre for the year. I do this every year because I might do a top 10, but I can't do a top 10. It's ridiculous. I have too many good books I always love. So what I do is I divide them up by genres and do it that way, and it's really kind of fun. So today we're going to talk about my favorite contemporaries I read in 2016. All right, first I have The Last Time We Say Goodbye by Cynthia Hand. This story is about a girl named Lex who is trying to move on after her brother has committed suicide. And she's cut herself off from her boyfriend, her friends, somewhat her family, and it is basically her journey. One side note on this book is Cynthia Hand had the same experience. She lost her brother to suicide. This is not her account. This is a fictional account, but she did use the emotions and the experience of that to write this book, and I thought that was incredibly brave of her to do that, and it really comes across that she went through this emotion. It was a very emotional book, one of the best I've read on teen suicide, especially after the fact. A lot of books, it deals with teens wanting to kill themselves and maybe them getting saved at the end, and this one, the tragedy has already happened. So it's more about the family and what's left behind after this kind of a tragedy. So I really liked that. Crank by Ellen Hopkins. This is my very first Ellen Hopkins read, and I really liked it. It is written in prose, and it is about a girl who has become addicted to crack, and it's her story and the horrors and what happens to her going through this drug addiction, and what happens to her family. It was very eye-opening to me because I have not had experience with hard drugs myself or with any of my family members, and I really hope I never do. It was very hard to read, but it was really good, and I flipped the pages really fast, and I will be reading more Ellen Hopkins. Summer Days and Summer Nights, edited by Stephanie Perkins. This is a collection of short stories about love with a summer theme. The thing I loved a lot about this is that they're not all just strictly contemporaries. There's a couple thrillers in here, sci-fi stories, things like that. So it was a very diverse collection of short stories, which I really liked that. They were all completely different from each other. And some of the stories were just amazing in here. Leigh Bardugo's story, Head, Scales, Tails, and Tongue, which is a fantasy, was amazing. Let's see. The Last Stand at the Synagogue by Libba Bray, which is a horror story, was really good. In 90 Minutes Turn North by Stephanie Perkins was really good. Inertia by Veronica Roth was amazing. I really, really, really liked that one. Love is the Last Resort by John Scavran. That one was a really funny story. I really liked that one. A Thousand Ways This Could All Go Wrong by Jennifer E. Smith was really good. I gave that one 5 stars. And then there were several others. There's 12 stories altogether. And there's lots of different authors, YA authors. So if you love an anthology collection, this is definitely one to get. I liked it even better than My True Love Gave to Me. It was a really fun read this year. I really liked this. And then I read Hopeless and Losing Hope. Actually, I read a ton of Colleen Hoover this year. And I loved these. Hopeless and Losing Hope is my favorite so far I've read of Colleen Hoover. They're just amazing. This is about a girl named Sky who is this boy named Dean, and it becomes pretty clear that he might be involved in her past in some way, and she's not sure how. And it's basically their love story, and as all different kind of realizations come to light, and her entire world is flipped upside down, and it's an amazing story. It's told so beautifully. Losing Hope is the same story from his point of view, and normally I'm not big on those books. I mean, they're okay, I'll read them, but this one was definitely worth reading because there's so much from his side that you don't get in Hopeless. So it felt like almost a completely different story in a lot of ways. So it's just a heartbreaking read, but they're so good. One of the best contemporaries I've ever read. This was a fun duology, although I found out there's going to be a third book. To All the Boys I've Loved Before and P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. This follows a girl named Laura Jean, who is a romantic in a lot of ways, sort of a vintage romantic. Over her course of her life, when she falls in love with a boy, she'll write him a love letter. Basically, it's her way to get over the crush or whatever, and she hides it in this beautiful hat box that I think her grandmother gave her or something. And what ends up happening is somehow, and she's addressed the letters and everything, but she never mails them. It's just kind of her way to get some closure on the situation. And there's 5 different boys she's written to over the course of her life, and somehow these letters get mailed. And so it's the story after the hilarity and everything, what happens after that fact. And it's such a cute story. I really loved this much more than I thought I would. If you love cute contemporaries like that, and it has a little depth to it too, this is a really fun one. I really liked it. And I just really like Laura Jean. She's one of those girls that I wish I had been when I was her age. Just so smart and sweet and lovable, and oh, I just loved her so much. This was a really fun duology. And those are my favorite contemporaries of 2016. Leave me any comments below if you have read any of these, what your thoughts are, or what some of your favorite contemporaries you read in 2016 are. I would love to know. I hope everyone has a good day, and I will talk to you later.